waste. Thank you, Mr. Sheikh Mohammed, for that inspiring and thought-provoking presentation. Your fresh perspective, innovative ideas, and passion for sustainability truly represents the spirit of the youth. I request you to stay back for a while for the whole ceremony of this section. Now, I would like to welcome our industry speaker, Mr. Mohammed Shaheen Hafiz. He is a business and trade leader with expertise in commerce and international industry relations. As joint director of Canada Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce and Industry, he contributes to the strengthening economic ties and promoting sustainable business practices. We look forward to his valuable insights on practical strategies for Asian economies to achieve net zero, with a focus on energy, industry, and policy frameworks. Sir, we warmly welcome you and look forward to your valuable contribution to this section. Over to you, Nafi, sir. Nafi, sir, are you there?
Sir, your voice is breaking. Your voice is not audible.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much, IGEN. There is a technical problem I'm facing from today. That the thing is I couldn't set the background I just shared with me. So if it is okay, then I can go with this camera, or if you want, I can stop it.
Yes, sir.
It's okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right then. Thank you. We just heard the research and technical perspective on powering Asia's sustainability. I want to bring you the view from the business point, that is from trade, from industry. This is where these targets actually have to be paid for and built. So this is my privilege to share my some concepts with you today. As you know, I serve as a joint director at the Canada Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and my talk about this today is titled "Achieving Net Zero: Strategies for Asian Economies." So I just like to introduce that Asia today accounts for roughly half of global emissions. That share is still rising. Europe and North America are decarbonizing an economy that is already built, but Asian economies are still building theirs. We are trying to cut emissions intensity while energy demand keeps climbing. This is not a contradiction policymakers can solve alone. It's an investment problem, and it is a business model problem actually. Every net zero target you see on government side is underneath a financing plan. It is also a private sector delivery plan, or just a slide. Let me move quickly through the landscape. That is, China targets net zero by 2060. China is already the world's largest manufacturer of solar panels. Japan and South Korea target 2050. Both are backed by strong emissions trading systems. India targets 2070. But India has set a 500 gigawatt renewable capacity target by 2030. In the case of Bangladesh and Vietnam and Indonesia, we are still building our basic electrification. At the same time, they are trying to leapfrog straight to cleaner sources. These are different timelines. So someone has to finance and build and operate all of this. That is where industry comes in. That is where these chambers were really working. Now, let me walk through what industry actually has to deliver. First, capital mobilization. The government places do not build a single solar farm. What builds it is a blended finance. This includes the green bonds, it includes development bank, it includes just energy transition partnership. These help finance early coal refinement in countries like Indonesia and Vietnam. For Chamber of Commerce like mine, our job is connecting investors to bankable projects on the ground. Right now, that pipeline is still too thin relative to demand. Second, industrial decarbonization is a competitiveness issue. It is not just a compliance issue. Steel and cement that textile matter enormously to economies like Bangladesh. These sectors are watching carbon border adjustment mechanism emerged in Europe. If an export industry does not decarbonize, it does not just miss a target, it loses market access. So third is green jobs and skill pipeline. This is very important, I think. None of this scales without technicians. We need people who can install solar systems. We need people who can maintain grids. We need people who can run efficient factories. This is where technical and vocational training becomes an industry priority. It is not just an educational ministry concern. Employers have to be at the table designing this curricula. So now let us look closer at South Asia's position. I had a chart on the that it shows the per capita emissions for 4 economies. South Korea sits at 11.29 tons per person. China sits at 9.13 tons per person, and India sits at 2.19 ton per person carbon emission. But Bangladesh sits at 0.7 tons per person. This is not just a climate statistics, it is a strategic opening. Bangladesh can build its industrial and energy base on cleaner foundation from the start. It does not need to retrofit a legacy fossil system later. India also shows something important here. India is one of the world's largest economies. Even so, India's per capita footprint remains far below the industrialized economies above it. All the charts that I just shared, that gives India from to grow its economy what still building clean. They need to move before the industrial base looks at around in the wrong technology. That is precisely the coordination role chambers of commerce like ours are trying to play. I not pretend this is simple. The financing gap into emerging Asia remains far below what is needed. Coal is politically difficult to phase down, where it means jobs and state revenue. Grid infrastructure in many countries cannot yet absorb renewable power at the scale we are planning for. A just transition has to be designed deliberately. It cannot be left as an afterthought. It has to protect workers as industries shift. So here is my closing point for an industry audience. Net zero in Asia will not be delivered by targets on a page. It will be delivered by bankable projects. It will be delivered by competitiveness, competitive exporters. It will be delivered by trained technicians. It will be delivered by investors willing to move early into markets like Bangladesh and Vietnam, not only into China. That cannot go alone. The policy ambition already exists. What Asia needs now in business execution at the same scale as its ambition. That is the work. So I would argue it is the most important work in the room today. Thank you all. Thank you, Aizen.
Thank you so much, Sharan Nafees, for that insightful and engaging presentation. Your industry experience and practical perspectives have provided us with a valuable understanding of how sustainable energy solutions emerge from ideas and innovation to real-world implementation. Sir, I request you to stay back for a while for the old ceremony of the discussion. As we come to the close of this insightful section on the theme powering Asian sustainability, renewable energy, smart grid, and emerging technology, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our distinguished panelists for sharing their valuable practical experiences and inspiring knowledge and perspective. Thank you, one and all.